Sola Gratia reminds us that salvation is a free gift of God's grace from beginning to end. As Jonathan Edwards once said, the only thing that you contributed to your own salvation was the sin that made it necessary. And what's so amazing about this is it's not just that we've received grace that we didn't deserve. We've actually received grace that we spit on. You know, if I gave you a brand new car, just because I felt like it, it's not that you did anything to deserve it. I just gave it to you, right? That'd be one thing. It'd be quite another if I gave you that car, you trashed it and drove it off of a cliff, and then I replaced it with an even better car. That would really be something. That's the kind of grace we're talking about. Because what you would have earned by smashing it would be at least some degree of my anger, right? Some sort of punishment for doing that. But instead, what you got was something even better than you had before. That's salvation. We get a picture of that in the story of the prodigal son. So he leaves home, he squanders his inheritance, he's forfeited every right he has as a son. He comes home hoping to only be a servant, and yet he is welcomed as a son. And you know, when we talk about God's grace, it's important to recognize that God does not owe salvation to anyone. All that is owed to us is his just wrath and anger for our sin against him. That's just. That's fair. And there's nothing any man can do to unearn that or to earn God's favor. So that's where we get this idea. It is by God's grace alone that we are saved. And of course, at this time during the Reformation, the Catholic Church didn't believe that. They believed that good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell. The Reformers, on the other hand, believed that there are no good people in heaven. There are only sinners there, saved by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, who alone is worthy of it. And of course, the Bible speaks very clearly of this in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, where it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." And then we see, of course, what man does earn in Romans chapter 6, verse 23, where it says, "The wages of sin is death, but salvation is the free gift of God." I think the most important thing that this idea of sola gratia, of grace alone, teaches us, or that should remind us about, is that we should be humble. All of these, as you'll see, really are humbling. This idea that there's not, I didn't do anything to earn my salvation. I have nothing to boast about. It was not by works, but by grace alone. So there's obviously no room for boasting. We can't go to somebody and say, well, hey, just do what I did, because we didn't do it. We would have never chosen God had he not first chosen us. And that's actually really freeing, isn't it? So as we think about why this matters in our lives, why this point of doctrine matters, it should be very freeing. It should be very assuring. We don't have to go day in and day out wondering if God still loves me, if he's pleased with my performance, or what can I do to possibly get back in his good graces. Whatever grace he has for us has been given to us as a free gift. And so we can go through life not fretting about our standing before our Maker. And lastly, it motivates us to have love for neighbor, understanding this grace that we've received as a free gift, grace that we did not deserve, grace that we spat on, but that God gave us anyway, helps us to more quickly forgive others, to be willing to extend grace, to be merciful to others. Valuing this free gift that we've received helps us to see others as image bearers of the one true and living God, and to be more forgiving. Forgiven people, as it turns out, are to be a forgiving people. So that is sola gratia, grace alone.